Discovering voices, building worlds. The Ampliverse.
Welcome to Harry Potter and the Anxious Millennials, a show where we delve week by week into each chapter of the Harry Potter series.
Well, Adam, how are you? Here we are again.
It's the middle of summer. We're feeling gorgeous.
It's the middle of summer for us, but for the
book,
for the Harry Potter kids,
the middle
it's
of
for
winter.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas in July for us, actually.
Christmas in July, totally. It's fine. How are you?
I'm good. I actually went to Northampton Pride yesterday, which was my first Pride I've participated in since coming out as bisexual. So I was very excited.
Because you came out.
Oh, I didn't really take any pictures of my outfit to show you, but it was really cute.
You came out during pandemic, right? Like 2020?
Yes.
I think that's
I'm
right.
I put a post up so that I'm going to look at when did I make that post.
I think that's right, because...
Yeah, June 2021.
June 2021. 2021. Yeah. So there wasn't even, I don't even know. I guess you could have gone to LA's Pride last year, because I think that was their first year back.
I can't remember the last thing I said, but I remember it was something about, I was talking to my friend Amy yesterday, because Amy and Kieran and Michael and I all went together. And I went to a stall and I got...
Yes. Did you buy it or was it free?
No, I bought it.
Oh,
but it was
cute.
£4. Oh, God. But I was walking around and had this out and everything. And I was there was just a time in my life where I didn't think I would ever, I didn't know if I would feel comfortable walking around with a bi flag. And there also was a time when I was when the pride parades were going on and I had come out that I had this weird thing of I didn't feel like pride was for bi people. And now I don't feel that way at all. Because obviously when I went to the Pride, they were that's the whole point of Pride, that there's so many, everyone's there. We're all celebrating each other. But it was interesting because I was oh yeah, I remember when I kind of thought oh no, it's not really for people that are bi. But I think a lot of bi people that are in hetero presenting relationships feel that way. I think it's kind of a part of what we struggle with. So
yeah, for sure.
This week we read chapter 24 called Occlumency. Adam, what happens in this chapter?
The end of winter break comes. They go back to Hogwarts, and Harry has his first one-on-one private lesson with Snape in the art of occlumency.
Yeah, I hate this chapter.
Yeah.
No, everything you're saying is great.
Yeah.
I just the whole time I was reading this chapter or listening to the chapter, I just was literally
it sucks.
This is a terrible idea.
Doesn't it not go anywhere? Isn't that the whole thing of
no,
it doesn't work out. He's not good at it.
It just doesn't lead to anything in the long run.
Right.
He doesn't get another teacher.
Well, the chapter starts and Creature, we come to find out, has been lurking in the attic. But when he comes back down, I actually have no idea what Creature was doing. I just know it's not good. Yeah. He was supposedly lurking in the attic, and Harry is uncomfortable with the story. He doesn't fully trust it, but he doesn't want to say anything because he could be wrong.
But we agree with you, Harry.
But we agree with you, and the fact that it's even included in the book makes me agree with you in general. Because why would she include it if Creature was just in the attic?
Yes, great point.
That's how books work.
Look at little Friedrich. Look at him. He looks like an old man now more than ever. This is the oldest man he's ever looked. Yeah, look at him. He even looks like he's sticking his chin out like this.
So just remember that happened with Creature. And I'll remember it too.
Just remember.
I don't know what's happening, but it can't be good. There's no way it's good. Creature is not a great character. We've talked about this, but
yeah,
he's canonically a villain in this series. So
I don't really mind that she did make a house elf that is fully brainwashed. You would call this in my African American drama lit class, we would have called this a kind of an Uncle Tom type.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
Because he's just totally buying into what he's been told, and wants to be like a good servant, rather than having like his own identity. Mm-hmm. So I don't mind that she did that, but like the situation of that it's Sirius's house elf and like it's continuing with the whole Hermione's trying to be nice to him, but no one else thinks they should be nice to him. It's not good.
No, it's bad. Sirius is back to being Mr. Grumpy Gilsh because the kids are going to head back to school. Just like, I'll talk a little bit more about Sirius and his like whatever in a little bit, but
okay.
He's back to being in his feelings. The kids are in their like bedroom playing a game of Wizard's Chess, and Molly stops by and she says, "Hey Harry, Professor Snape would like a word with you."
And Harry understandably is like, "Huh?"
Harry walks into the kitchen and Sirius and Snape are sitting at the
I know, this is so funny.
Just being like,
yeah. So funny.
It's funny until you like think about the fact that these are like people in their 30s and you're like, you guys, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing for you. I'm embarrassed for you. Yeah,
I mean, but the two of them are very immature about it.
Yes.
But
we'll get to it. Snape is mad that Sirius is there because he wanted to have this conversation privately with Harry.
Right, but Sirius is like, over my dead body.
Right, but Sirius is like, but I'm his godfather.
Yeah.
And so Snape gets one little... Listen, Snape is very good at these cutting remarks that he knows will get under their skin. Because he says, I know you like to feel involved. Which is great. I mean...
I know.
That's a good one.
No, it's great, yeah.
And like, the problem is like, Harry has the same problem that Sirius does, where they just like take the bait. It's so clearly bait.
Yeah.
And it's like, Sirius, you're just an adult. Like, I have less sympathy for you because you're an adult. You had so much time in Azkaban to sit and reflect and contemplate and like, just like become zen. Because that's all you can do in Azkaban.
Yeah, with the Dementors, Adam.
Right.
Meditating with the Dementors.
I mean, I feel like that's the only way to like keep your sanity would just be to like meditate so you have no feelings whatsoever so they can't feed off of you. That's my advice.
Adam, the being a dog worked better than meditation. So He just chose to stay as a dog for as much of his time. But I do think there's something about this book being an adult.
And what do dogs do if not meditate? Look at this.
Yeah.
Right now. He's just chilling.
Yeah. But I do think that it is interesting reading this book back as an adult. I really am frustrated with Sirius more than I thought I would be. But I think it is because he's just like so stunted from being in prison for 12 years. And then we've got, I almost said Snivelus. Then we've got Severus over here.
Who's like
incel BB, like just like basically a racist, but like fell in love with a woman who was mixed race. Like, what is it? Do you know what I mean? What is that? What are we trying to say? And just because he has feelings for her. But is
also like half him.
It just doesn't, the whole thing is like a mess. So it's the fact that they both are acting like this with like the groundwork that has been laid for them. I'm kind of like, yeah, this is exactly how it's going to go.
Yeah. And also it's a kid's book, so fine. So he says that he can't tell anyone when they're back at Hogwarts, but the headmaster, Dumbledore, wants him to learn occlumency. And so Snape will be giving him one-on-one lessons. Nobody can know, especially Dolores Umbridge. Okay, this is the warning.
Yeah, definitely not that bitch.
So they're going to say that Harry needs remedial potions lessons.
Wasn't this a little bit shady? Like, Dumbledore, once again, girl.
I know.
Do you think Snape came up with him?
Do you think Snape came up with that on his own? Dumbledore was like, I don't know, just find an excuse.
Yes. No, I think he told Dumbledore. And Dumbledore was like, fine, I have too many other things to worry about.
To decide what the excuse should be. I mean, in Snape's defense, it's like the only good excuse. There is no other reason that you would be able to be like
working with Snape.
right.
Yeah, no.
Because he's not his head of house. He's not like.
Yeah, there's like no reason for him to be working with him. Yeah, I do agree with that.
He's not the head of the photography club, and Snape is their like faculty.
Oh my God, Adam!
Mentor.
Could you imagine? This week we are ensuring that the correct photos have been placed with the correct spreads in this year's photo book. I don't want any mistakes.
Harry is the head of yearbook is very funny to me.
Hermione would be head of yearbook though, girl. There is no way it would not be Hermione.
You know who would actually be good at the head of yearbook? Lavender Brown.
Oh, yeah, sure. Because she's like social butterfly.
Mm-hmm. Sirius and Snape are nearly at blows because they just keep like needling each other. And on one hand, sure, it's fun to read. On the other hand, I'm like, there is a 15-year-old right now. Like, what are you doing?
A 15-year-old that's having to restrain both of you.
Oh my God, it's so, and you're not embarrassed, and neither of them are embarrassed. That's the wildest part. No one's embarrassed. Lucius, we do learn throughout this little head-to-head that
Confirmed.
Lucius did recognize Padfoot at King's Cross at the beginning of term. So Snape throws that in, and then on top of it is like, but I'm sure you did that on purpose so you have an ironclad excuse to never have to leave Grimmauld Place because you're such a coward.
Which Sirius is just like, there's like sparks coming out of his ears at this point. He's really hitting he's really hitting home.
He knows where the buttons are. He knows exactly
he knows where
what
the buttons are to push.
To press.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So they pull out their wands and they're about to like truly duel in the middle of the fucking kitchen at the Black House at Grimmauld Place in London, out of nowhere.
London, in England, in the UK, on planet Earth.
On planet Earth, in our solar system, in the Milky Way galaxy.
So oh my God, why was that so funny to me? You just kept going.
Zoom out.
God.
Zoom out.
Yeah.
Zoom
I wish
out.
I could watch
Zoom
my
out.
reaction as you kept going. That's so funny. Yeah, zoom out. Like in Emperor's New Groove.
Yes, yes.
And then he's like, oh, that's a little too far. Let's go back.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
So in the middle of and then Harry's also like trying to literally hold them apart.
Yeah. Physically restraining them. Yeah, it's not good, girl.
It's not giving healthy household. It's not giving like good place to raise a child. It's not just like
no.
And in the middle of this walks in the Weasley family because Arthur has been released from St. Mungo's.
Yeah, which like bad timing, guys. They're all like, "Yay!" And then it's like they come home. Well, not really home. It's Sirius's home, but like they come into them like literally about to punch each other. I was like, "Oh, girl.
Yeah.
Grow
it's
up."
Wild. And so immediately they like, because they got interrupted, the guys kind of like come to their senses. Snape like storms out of the house immediately. Mm-hmm. And Sirius like tries to be like, "Oh, I'm so happy to hear that you're okay, Arthur, blah blah blah." They have dinner or whatever that night. And
dinner or whatever.
Cuz I think the next day is when they're going to go back to Hogwarts. Is that right?
Yeah, it's pretty fast.
Yeah, it's pretty fast. So they Mungo Jerry? No, what's his name? Mundungus Fletcher.
Mungo Jerry? Mungo Jerry and Ron Baltazar. Yeah, that's who you're thinking. Mungo Jerry, what's his name?
Mundungus Fletcher.
Mundungus.
And someone else comes over for dinner.
Is it Tonks?
Is it Tonks? I think it's Tonks.
Tonks goes back with them.
Right.
So I'm not sure.
There are definitely people that come over for dinner, and so Harry wants to pull Sirius aside to be like, it's okay. Like he was just like what we were saying. Like he's just trying to get under your skin. Yeah. Don't let him do it. Blah blah blah.
Harry, you're really one to talk, bro.
Hello. No one thinks you're a coward. Like we totally think you're doing a service here by literally just even having a place for the order to meet is truly enough of a reason that you should be in the fucking order. And to this, I say,
it's Mundungus. And Mad, I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's
Mad Eye
Mundungus and
Moody.
Mad Eye. Yeah, Mad Eye Moody.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to this I say, I just feel, personally myself, it's very nice that Harry wants to do this for Sirius. Harry should not be put in a position where he like has to
comfort his guardian.
Parent his guardian. Because you're not
he should
friends.
not.
That's the other thing. Like, it's...
Yeah, if you're in a parental role, like a guardian, you have to be the one that is like the most mature in every situation.
Right.
Like,
It's
I understand you can't always be like perfect, but like,
right.
I don't know. It's just like, dude, try a little bit harder for Harry. Like, come on.
I feel similar. It's similar to like their relationship with Hagrid, how it's like Hagrid is an adult. They probably shouldn't be hanging out with an adult like this, blah, blah, blah. But the way she writes Hagrid is very like Lenny of Mice and Men. So like you can kind of, there's just like a stock way she writes him as if he's like, I don't know, like still like childlike to some extent, Hagrid. Whereas like Sirius is an adult and also has the like added legal guardianship role that he has taken on. So it's like different in that way. I don't know. It's interesting. So the next day, they leave Grimmauld Place. Sirius gives him a very brisk side hug and a... Men.
I just don't... This was weird. Why wouldn't you... This
Men.
is another... It's his being in prison for 12 years type of thing.
Right. So they get on the night bus. First of all, why are they taking the night bus like immediately on the street from Grimmauld Place? This seems like if you're like, we want to keep our hideout a secret, so we're going to have all of the Weasleys and Harry Potter and Hermione Granger and Tonks.
And two Aurors.
And Remus Lupin.
Yeah, the werewolf.
Get on a fucking bus together, and we're going to do it right
know.
on the street in front of the secret house. I understand that nobody can see the house.
Crazy.
Because that's how, like, the secret keeper shit works. But, like, walk around the block.
Yeah, it's weird that there's literally, like, 15 people.
Do you know what
All of a
actually
sudden
bothers me
appeared.
about this chapter? Besides
What?
the occlumency lesson? I was like, oh, they're taking the night bus to go back to King's Cross.
Yeah.
And then I realized that they take it all the way to Hogsmeade.
Yeah, they do.
When you are a student and you leave Hogwarts for your winter break, how do you does everyone take the night bus to get back home?
No, you would have to take the Hogwarts Express.
Or is there
you?
like an open fireplace in Hogsmeade that you can like flue powder your way back to your house?
I mean, that should be there all year round. They don't need to be riding the train, girl. Like, have that fireplace available.
So, like, we are to understand that the train only exists 2 days a year to go to Hogwarts and to come back from Hogwarts? What's it doing the rest of the time? Trains take up a lot of space.
Just chilling.
I was like...
She just sitting there.
It was just so weird to me, to the idea. I love that the night bus can like basically apparate itself to different places.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I love that that's a part of it, and so they take this to. But then couldn't you like go to the start of the term on the night bus if you're like, I don't want to take a 6-hour train ride through the UK. I just want to get there in 20 minutes. That's
why I think the transportation in the wizarding world is always a little bit difficult for me, because I'm like, she kind of presents things as if like the Hogwarts Express. It's like, this is the only way. This is the way they've always done it. It's just tradition, fine, whatever. And then I'm like, okay, fine. I'll choose to like go along with that, or like I can believe that. But then something like this happens where then she's like, and then they all took the night bus back. And I'm like, okay, so
it's
they
just
could have taken that from the beginning?
It's just weird that like the Hogwarts Express doesn't run for the only one break they have in the year. I understand that not everybody's going to be on it, but like...
But I don't know if it very well might, Adam, and they just took I don't know. That's why it's confusing. Yeah, I know. I don't know what to tell ya.
Because he's never left for the Christmas break. This is his first Christmas break.
No, he's always been... Yeah, exactly. He's always been
So we've never
at
had to
the
like
castle.
ask this question before. But you know
No.
what? I'm here to ask the questions, okay? Anyway, that's my little tangent about the night bus and going back to Hogsmeade. The night bus is just as fun as we remember it being from the third book.
Yeah.
Stan Shunpike is still there. Ernie's still the driver. It doesn't seem like Stan Shunpike has been turned into a right-wing extremist yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, but stay tuned. They jump all over the UK and then finally end up at Hogsmeade, and then they walk back to Hogwarts. How far is Hogsmeade from Hogwarts? Why do they... Okay, this is another thing. Why do... Okay, the train comes into Hogsmeade Station. The first years take the boats. I understand it's a whole... The first year thing, have no problem with. It's a whole like, ooh, like gorge. Okay, fine. 2nd through 7th year, take the horseless, aka thestral carriages up to the school. This, they just like walk with their bags back up to Hogwarts. And like she doesn't say like, it was a really long walk. Like there's nothing about it being like annoying, far, long. It must be short enough that Harry turns around when they get to the doors of Hogwarts to go look to see if the night bus is still there. But if you had just gotten off the night bus, you wouldn't get to the gate of the doors of Hogwarts and then turn around and being like, I'm going to take one last little look at that purple triple-decker bus.
No. Was it still there when he looked?
No,
I don't
it
remember.
wasn't still there.
Yeah.
Of course it wasn't.
Adam, that's him being dumb.
He's an idiot. I did write.
That's just Adam being dumb. I
literally have in
Harry
3
being
notes.
dumb.
In 3 notes, I have a note that says Harry's adult. So he is stupid.
He's adult.
As soon as they're back at Hogwarts, the members of the DA are coming up to Harry, being like, "So when are we gonna? We got to start practicing it." And Harry's like, "Can we?" Nothing's changed, folks. I'm still gonna let you know on the coins. We're still gonna do it the same way we have been doing it. Nothing.
I just got back. Chill.
Hello? Can we all breathe for a second? Zachariah Smith is like, can we do it tonight, like Monday night? And Harry's like, no.
Sorry, Zachariah, you're not telling anyone what time we're doing this, girl. Like,
and Harry's
get out
like,
of here.
No, I have remedial potions lessons with Snape. And Zacharias is like, you must be the dumbest person I know. I don't think Snape does that for anybody. And it's so funny.
Oh, poor Harry.
Then they run into Cho Chang, so Hermione and Ron go off to be like, oh, we'll go.
We'll get it.
Bye, see you later. And so they have a little conversation. Cho lets Harry know that if he hasn't seen the notice board.
I don't know if you saw, but this is Adam all over again. Adam, is this you? Is this you?
Yeah.
Trying to get your crush to take you to Hogsmeade.
The next Hogsmeade trip is actually on Valentine's Day, Harry. And Harry is dumb. I mean, truly. He's like...
Yeah, Harry just like
dumb.
could not catch a hint, like take a hint.
This is...
You have to spell it out
There
for this
is
man.
no way that anyone would be like, what is Valentine's Day a reference to? Obviously that we... Like, what? He thinks that her question is going to be, when is the next meeting? And she is like, oh, I thought you were going to... oh, never mind. So she like walks away and she's like, never mind. Sorry. Just kidding. Bye.
He's like, sorry.
So then he puts 2 and 2 together. He rubs his last remaining
like,
brain cells he has together to compute the fact that this girl wants him to ask her out to Hogsmeade on the couple day of the year. He's so stupid.
Couple day.
He does not deserve Cho Chang.
No, he doesn't. And there's a reason why they don't work out, because he just like truly is not emotionally intelligent enough for this girl. Like she needs someone who really is going to like understand her and like hold space for her emotions. And Harry is not the one.
No, not at all. So he catches back up to her and he's like, oh, do you want to go? Would you like to go to Hogsmeade with me on Valentine's Day? And she's like, oh my gosh, that would be great. She's very gracious in this moment because she could have been like, yeah, that's what I was alluding to.
That's what I was trying to say. And the ship has sailed.
The ship, yeah. Dry dock, hun.
Dry dock, Harry.
So The day passes. Harry has double potions. It's awful as usual because it's Snape. And at the end of the day, he goes down to the dungeons, goes down to Snape's office to have
It's made worse by the fact that this man literally teaches in the dungeons. Like, I'm just like...
And that he
You
is like
wouldn't wanna go down there
greasy
anyway.
little mole rat. Like,
Yes!
why does he look like that?
Yeah, Snape was also on Kim Possible, if you guys didn't know.
Huge for his career.
Oh my god, and the guy on that show was named Ron, wasn't he?
Oh,
It was
yeah,
Kim
Ron
and Ron.
Stoppable.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
First of all, Snape is so dramatic. Harry walks in, and it's like a dark, empty room, right? Like, light a damn candle. And
Yeah.
from out of the
so
shadows, Snape is like, you can close the door behind you. What is this performance, Snape?
I don't know why he's being performative like this.
This is so annoying. You are one-on-one. There's no need. I understand. I don't even, you know what? No, I don't understand why you do not like this child.
Yes.
Because of your residual trauma from high school that you need to get over. See a therapist on. However.
Because at this point, it's been
15.
older than Harry
Yeah,
has been
18
alive.
years?
So like 15 years since this situation with them.
Right.
Once again, Harry had nothing to do with that. So I just don't.
No. Just because someone
So
looks
weird.
like someone else does not mean that they... And, like, Harry has a lot of faults. There's a lot of things you could be like, I dislike Harry for this reason.
Yeah, sure.
If he named one, I would accept that. But it always is like...
But he hated him on sight.
Yes. He just looks like his dad.
He looks
Girl-
like James, so I hate him.
You sound stupid.
Yeah, I know.
Ugh. Okay.
Snape is the worst. He's the worst.
So he explains that the reason Albus is like, we're going to do occlumency is because of the connection that was clearly established with the Nagini situation. Because Voldemort, we learn, is a master of legilimency, which is like what Harry infers as mind reading. But that is a simplistic way of understanding what legilimency is, because the true art of legilimency is like being able to like overtake someone's mind, not make them do what you want them to do, although like that is kind of like how it's described to an extent. But
yeah, when he's describing it, it does sound like that a little bit, yeah.
But isn't that just the Imperious Curse?
Yeah, I mean, there's a spell that exists that is already that, so I don't really understand why, like, legitimens is like... Legilimens. I don't really know what the difference is in terms of, is it just they will get into your mind so that they can then use your fears against you? Like, is it that kind of thing? Because that's kind of what happens, Adam.
Yeah, but it's also like the way they talk about it is that he was like possessing Nagini that night. But like I don't know if that's the accurate, and like they don't have to know the actual answer right now because they don't have a true understanding that like what the Horcruxes are, blah 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 at this point in the story. But like I was confused because I was like, is it possession or is that a separate thing? What are we worried about? Let's break it down. And also the problem is like Snape doesn't want to give a fucking answer to this child who's going through this.
That was my biggest complaint about this, Adam, that I was just like, I'm sorry, Dumbledore, you didn't think this was exactly how this was going to go, girl? You knew it was going to be like this, and you did not care.
And you didn't like have
cared.
fucking McGonagall sit in as just like an objective third party.
Oh my God. I understand that McGonagall herself is not like an Occlumency, but like she could have been like, hey, here's how we kind of like can ward against.
Here's how to teach.
Yes, that's the thing. And I felt so bad for Harry during this whole thing because Harry's
sucks.
like, you're not showing me.
Thank you.
Yes.
He's just like, okay, just fight against it. In what way? What are you talking about?
What am I supposed to do? Literally, this is exactly what's happening. Snape is like, okay, and now prepare for what I'm going to do to you. And Harry's literally like, okay? What? Like, it's just like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. You don't even know what, he doesn't even know what Snape is going to do, really.
Yeah.
How does he know? Oh my God, it was making me so upset. Do you know what it kind of reminds me of though, Adam? I was kind of being reminded of like when you do, I don't know if this is how your professors were, but I certainly had some professors that like in class, they would be like, okay, now just like go for it. And then you would go for it. And then they would cut you off like 2 lines into the scene. And they would just be like, yeah, like it's just not working. And then you'd be like, oh, okay, like what am I supposed to do? And they'd be like, just like not that. And then you're like,
yes.
You're literally getting paid to say this to me? Like, it's ridiculous.
So Voldemort is a master of legilimency. He reads minds. So occlumency is going to be what Harry has to learn in order to defend his brain against Voldemort's peeping Tom ass eyes. Okay?
Yeah. Literal peeping Tom.
Voldemort is a voyeur. So Snape, we learn, is a master at occlumency. This is why he's teaching Harry.
I roll. Sorry.
I mean, I guess this is how he's like duping.
Yeah, but like
Voldemort.
Cool. That doesn't mean that you're the one that needs to teach Harry. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
It's the same. It's what you said earlier. Not everyone that is good at like a specific art is good at teaching that art. In fact, they very much probably aren't going to be able to teach it well.
And Snape does not have growth in this series. He starts being an asshole. He ends being an asshole. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
There's not like this magical moment in this book series where he realizes he's been a bad guy and like goes to correct the wrongs and apologizes and like there's a beautiful moment where Harry learns occlument. Like it could have been so cool if like during this they kind of discover each other and like learn something new and like move forward as like maybe not friends, but like
Adam,
an understanding of a respectful relationship.
That would have been even better because then the whole twist in the 6th book would have been even more intense. Like if there was a moment where it was like,
I trusted you.
Enemies to like, oh, I finally trusted you, and then
because
you did
the problem that he has in book 6 is he trusted you, but what if it was I trusted you? That's even more impactful.
Yeah, it's not as interesting as it could have been.
Anyway, we're just Joe, we're giving you notes. Okay. Harry is curious about this because he thinks at this point, you know, his connection with Voldemort may have proven useful since he's saved Arthur, blah, blah, blah.
That's true.
And I guess it could be, except the fact that now Voldemort, like, is aware that the connection exists, whereas before Harry was kind of like unbeknownst to anyone, like seeing what was going on when he was asleep or whatever. So this is where they mentioned that Voldemort was possessing Nagini that night, and then he has realized because Harry connected that now he knows that Harry can see, but also like he might be able to reverse, Uno reverse.
Yeah.
And
so
see what is going on.
Yeah, I was appreciative of this because remember we had questions about this.
Yes.
So I was like, what's going on?
Yes.
But yeah, then that makes sense. So Voldemort was in Harry's mind, or was in Nagini's mind, and so that's why Harry could see through Nagini.
Yeah.
Got it. That's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
So then immediately, this is what's crazy. Immediately he's like, okay, ready, get ready, legilimens.
I know!
There is no...
Get ready. That's literally like going to going to a specialized fitness class and the instructor literally just being like, "Okay, let's go." And you're like It's just like, what, how would you even know? I hate him.
He's the worst.
There's no way that he's not doing this on purpose. Like,
oh,
where
he's
are
like
all the
taking
Snape
glee.
defenders now?
He's taking glee in the fact that he can do this. It's so gross.
To this 15-year-old boy.
It's so gross.
I don't like it.
Also, the fact that this isn't a, like, unforgivable thing. Like, this doesn't send you to Azkaban.
That's not an unforgivable curse.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
So Snape immediately enters Harry's mind, and it appears to Harry as almost as though Harry's like scrolling through his albums in his mind's brain and he's like going through just memories, but it's in his photo roll.
Yeah.
So there's Dudley with a new bike. There's Marge's dog Ripper chasing him up a tree. There's the sorting ceremony. There's Hermione in the hospital wing when she turned into a cat. There's the Dementors at the end of book 3 when they're gliding across the lake. And then there's the Cho Chang kiss, which is when Harry's like,
That's private.
No. Fun. So they come out of it, and he asks Harry whose dog was that, which is like basically confirming that he saw everything Harry saw.
Yeah, I don't like this, and he's very pale. Did you notice that?
Well, what is that news?
He's just like me.
Snape is very pale.
He's just like me. He's very pale and a little shaken.
Was that a Barbie reference?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's just like me.
I'm just like you.
Yeah, exactly. Are you going to go see Barbie? The movie?
Yes, Miranda's actually coming. I think the weekend after it comes out, she's coming to Chicago, so we're going to wait a week to see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yay.
I'm like buying an outfit and everything. We're going to like cosplay
cute.
as Barbies. It's cute.
Cute. Oh, love. Yeah, he turned pale because there was a moment where Harry saw Lily.
Oh,
so that's why he's pale.
Did I miss that? Was I reading so
very
fast?
Very quick. I think it's his parents either waving up at him from a photograph or.
Oh, it's the second one. A great black dragon was rearing in front of him. His father and mother were waving at him out of an enchanted mirror. Cedric Diggory was lying on the ground with blank eyes staring at him. That's when Snape's like, oh God, I saw her. Oh God. Why is he so weird?
Yeah. I know, he's so weird about it.
She's been dead for so many years, and also nothing happened between you.
She didn't want to be with you. She didn't want to be with you.
It's so crazy. Somebody help this man.
He's so gross. He's so annoying.
I know.
But yeah, like this whole thing, it's basically like a lot of the stuff that Harry's reliving are like either traumatic events or like very like emotional events. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just like, okay, but then he's also having to relive these moments of his life that are like really intense. So I just feel like I don't know how helpful this is. Like it just seems like it's making things worse for him. I mean, what happens after this is a good example.
How did Snape learn occlumency? This is what I'm questioning. Snape is a master occlumens, fine. You didn't learn it by having someone legilimens you and then just like
yeah, there's no way.
What was your process, sir? Because I do think at some point it has to be like a full like you have to wipe your mind. Like you have to go blank. You have to go like full like I am in a state of like complete unawareness to where like your brain is like not actively working, so you can't even turn it on anyway. You know what I mean? That would be like my assumption of how it works. But the fact that he won't even explain to be like, no, you have to force thoughts that you want to be thought or whatever. Like it's so annoying.
Yeah, my guess is that it's like similar to how he just had like this knack for potions. I'm betting that he just was like kind of a sad little emo boy and got really into perfecting the art of like occlumency for whatever reason. And then the situation with Voldemort arose and he basically just out of sheer will, used it because he didn't want anything to happen with Lily.
Yeah.
And then like just kept doing it because he felt so bad. Just once again, out of sheer willpower.
Yeah, but then also like Snape would have had to read a book about occlumency. Like you don't just learn occlumency exists from like osmosis. You don't just like, right. Oh, he's so annoying. It's very frustrating to read because there's nothing Harry can do in this moment to actually figure out what the fuck he should be doing, and he is getting no help from the person who's supposed to be teaching him. And that's why it's like enough. So the third time he legilimens Harry.
Legilimens.
Harry sees in one of the flashbacks of his brain, he and Arthur are running through a windowless corridor. And when Harry and Arthur, and he comes out of it and he's like, oh,
I know where that was.
The corridor I have been dreaming about for months is the corridor that Arthur and I ran through when we were running to get me to my trial. It's in the Department of Mysteries. And so he goes, what's in the Department of Mysteries? And Snape is like, huh?
Yeah, what? Great cover, Severus.
Yeah, he's really good at Occlumency. So he kind of figures something out, but obviously Severus isn't going to like explain in any kind of way. I don't even know how much Snape knows of what is in the Department of Mysteries. Do you think he knows the prophecies in there?
Well, he's the one that gave away the prophecy all those years ago.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know if he knows that's exactly where it is. But I mean, because I guess that's my guess that he's trying to find out exactly what was said.
The General Order doesn't know about the prophecy. Like they that's why they refer to it as a weapon, because they kind of, that's all they can glean as to how something that Voldemort could use to be helpful. That's why they just assume it's a weapon. So this is where their lesson ends for the day. It seems to not have gone great. Harry's feeling very weak. He's feeling very tired. Because he just got mind fucked. There's no
literally
other,
no, yeah.
I mean, there's so a worse way I could phrase it, but I won't. But yeah. He's you're like fully taken advantage of. So he goes to the library, which is where Ron and Hermione are. He explains what happened. He feels really weak, blah, blah, blah. And then they kind of have this little conversation of like, what's in the Department of Mysteries? Hermione asks Ron if his dad has ever mentioned like what's in there. And Arthur's like, apparently doesn't know, other than the fact that the people who work in the department are called unspeakables. Is that right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the end of that conversation. They go back to the common room so Harry can like calm down. But of course, Fred and George have unveiled a new product called the Headless Hat. It's a hat, and when you put it on, it makes you look like and
the headless
your
horseman.
head turn invisible, so you're headless. And so because it's so rowdy, he's like, I'm just gonna go to bed because I cannot work on homework with all of this. Plus, I feel like shit. I'm going to bed. Hermione's like, don't forget to add it to your homework agenda, your little planner.
That's right.
He goes back up to the boys' dormitory, and basically as soon as he walks in, he's overcome with this like feeling and like starts laughing is the best way I can like explain what is going on.
Yeah.
He's like maniacally laughing.
Yeah.
Very villainesque.
And this is what I'm saying, that like, how is this helping? Because he seems way more vulnerable to like not being able to resist something like this.
Right.
Like he basically fell right into this trap.
Right. Fully. And so Ron comes up and is like, are you okay? And Harry immediately says...
No, he's literally like, are you good? You were literally just like maniacally laughing.
Yeah.
My dude, what is going on?
I feel like I would rather wake him up from like what is clearly a nightmare than like
someone
maniacally laughing on the floor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would be like...
so scary.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
And so Harry's like, he's really happy right now. And Ron's like, oh. Cool. That's great.
All right, well, yeah.
And then that's kind of like where the chapter leaves, and with Harry wondering like what has made Voldemort the happiest he's been in 14 years. What could it be? And that's it. That's
thank you very much. That was great. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Very thorough. Well, that wraps up this chapter. Next week, we'll be reading chapter 24, The Beetle at Bay. We do have a review this week. This review is from Ashley Moe, Ashley with a Z. It is titled, And As Always, Amazing. This pod inspired me to read the books for the first time. Oh my God, Ashley with a Z. Wow, what a compliment. I've seen all the movies multiple times, so no major spoilers were spoiled. Great.
Good, thank God.
And I can confirm that from movie 4 and on, I had no idea what was really happening until I read the books. Yeah, that's pretty true with those movies.
Yeah.
The way these two critique each chapter is so funny, and I live for an Adam and Ari giggle fit. Thank you so much for bringing me into this wizarding world, and I can't wait for more. 5 stars.
Thanks,
thank you, Ashley. Oh, that was such a sweet
sweet
review. Thank you so much. Thank you for your kind words. We love hearing what you guys think. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you find your podcasts, as well as video versions on the Ampliverse YouTube channel and Spotify. As always, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so that we can get a perfect Newt score. 5 stars only, or else you'll have to wake up your best friend maniacally laughing in their sleep.
Nar.
So scary.
Not this.
Nar. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at HBAnxious or YouTube and TikTok at the Ampliverse. We are hosted on Spotify for podcasters, so thank you to them and are a proud member of the Ampliverse. Check them out at theampliverse.com. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Ari.
And as always,
Legilimens. Also, like, legilimens is a spell, but occlumens isn't.
make it make sense.
Make it make sense, Joanna.